Shirley from next door pops round about 9:30 with me shopping. Sorry, Trev, she says as she's putting me shopping away in the cupboards. I couldn't get those nice chocolate biscuits you like. She probably hasn't looked properly. She's always in a rush. Still, I can't complain. She's been a godsend. Since these legs of mine stopped working properly, I've come to rely on her. And especially now, since Dawn has moved away. It's only Brighton, Dad. It's not the Southern Hemisphere. Well, it might as well be for all I see of her now. Still, I suppose a promotion is a promotion. Have you heard about John? Says Shirley. She's making me dinner now. I'll warm it up in the microwave later. John who? I asked. John Crabtree, she says. I don't know who she's talking about. You know, next door but one. I still don't know who she means. Honestly, Trevor, I worry about your memory sometimes. I think it's getting worse. Rita's husband. Oh, yes. I know what she means now. Well, Shirley goes on, Jeff out at the pub told me that he's run off with some woman half his age, Vietnamese or Thai or something like that. I've stopped listening. She is such a gossip. I won't be round later, she says. Phil's taking me out. But I'll maybe pop in at some point tomorrow. Well, now, don't forget to lock the door behind me. Well, at least the carer's coming about 3. Otherwise, I'll be stuck here, on my own, again. Shirley can't have been gone more than half an hour when there's a knock on the door. I'm coming! I can't move quick! I shout. It's the gas man. I've come to read the meter, he says. I'd forgotten it was that time again. Anne used to keep on top of that sort of thing. You know, mark it on the calendar. I still miss it. Every day. I'm just warming up my lunch when there's another knock. It's not locked, I shout. And a young lad, can't be more than early 20s, pops his head round the door. Oh, morning, Mr. Smethwick, he says. Sorry to disturb your lunch. I'm here to cut the grass. I don't know what he's talking about. You know, you spoke to Steve last week, yeah? And he said he'd arranged for someone to cut your back lawn. Did I? I don't remember arranging that. He sees I'm struggling with my lunch. Bloody legs. Here, let me help you, he says. And before I know what, he's got me lunch and he's helped me sit down at the table. Pleasant young man. Andy, says his name is. Here, let me get you a cuppa, he says. And he does. And we sit down at the table and we have a nice chat. Now, it turns out that his granddad's got mobility problems too, but he's adamant he's staying in his own home. Quite right to say. My daughter's itching to get me into a home. She keeps bringing the subject up, but I'm not having it. And he goes off to cut the grass. About half an hour later, he's back for his money. That'll be 50 notes, Mr. S, he says. £50? I can't believe it costs that much. I mean, the back lawn's only quite small. Well, I haven't got that kind of money downstairs. I say, if you go upstairs, front bedroom, top drawer, you'll find some notes in there. All right, Mr. S, he says. I'll be back in a jiffy. They've been to read the meter again today, and I could swear it was only checked last week. And I've had to fork out another 50 quid for the window cleaner. Or was it the gardener? I could have sworn I paid it anyway. Oh, yes, it was the gardener. Because I remember being a bit surprised to find Andy in the house, and it wasn't even 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd just cleaned my teeth, gone into the kitchen, and there he was. Morning, Mr. S, he says. I've come to trim your roses. They're looking a bit overgrown. Well, I don't so much mind Andy letting himself in and out, but the other day, I found the man who's doing the guttering. Well, Andy recommended him. I found him in the kitchen making himself a coffee. I did not, he says. Well, I know my hearing's not what it was, but I'm only in the downstairs bedroom now, so we can't have not very loud. To be honest, it's a bit frightening, waking up and finding people in the house, even though you know that they're doing you a favour. Last Tuesday, or was it Wednesday? I don't remember. But anyway, I woke up. I sat up in bed. It was 7:30, and I could swear I could hear the stairs creaking. Is anyone there? I called out. But there was no answer. Now, it's probably nothing. But with all these people coming and going recently, well, it's made me feel a bit wary. It's Saturday morning and Shirley's here with the shopping. How's the guttering getting on? She says as she's unpacking me groceries. It's worse than they thought. I say, he's coming back again in the week. Which company did you say he was from? Says Shirley. I can't remember. Andy recommended him. Anyway, it's none of her business. The money for the groceries, it's upstairs, top drawer, I say. Shirley goes upstairs. Shortly afterwards, she comes down, looking rather pale. There's no money in the box, she said. I went to the cash point for you a couple of days ago. There was £300 in that box. Well, and Andy must have had it, or the gas man. Have any of these workmen shown you their ID? She says. What you getting at? I say, I'm getting quite angry now. Well, it's not just the money, she says, but there's your father's watch and that expensive necklace that you bought Anne. They're missing too. It's the middle of the night. I wake up. I can hear people in the kitchen opening the drawers. Then I realise it's only a dream. Shirley's husband, Phil, has been and changed all the locks, and the police have been informed. Shirley's phoned Dawn. Well, she insisted on it when all this came to light, and Dawn's on her way up from Brighton. And I know what she'll say. You know, Dad, you'll feel safer in a home. And the way I'm feeling now, I think she's probably right.